I'm Kate Driver, naturopath and women's health coach. Did you know leaky gut is actually very common in women in perimenopause and menopause? It is, and some people know it as intestinal permeability. Or maybe you don't know about it at all and you're not really sure what this leaky gut is. Well, I might explain it to you because it's common at any time of your life, but in perimenopause and menopause, when the hormones are changing and inflammation is increasing, then women can be more prone to it. Now, I'm not saying everybody has it, but it can be a lot more common, and I see it all the time. So intestinal permeability is when the small intestine becomes more permeable, and this can be because of inflammation in the intestines, and this can be caused by anything from infections like parasites or candida, or an imbalance in the good and bad bacteria in your intestines. It can come from the fluctuating hormones. It can come from food like processed foods and sugars, alcohol, coffee or caffeine, too many chemicals in your foods and too many chemicals sprayed on our foods, even something like glyphosate, which is sprayed on your fruit and vegetables if you're not eating organic. It's also in our air and our water. So glyphosate is also a big contributor to leaky gut, but so is stress. So there's so many. So stress will affect and destroy a lot of the good bacteria in your intestines if it goes on for too long. And this can increase inflammation in the intestinal wall. And this creates this permeability where these tiny microscopic junctions become more permeable and we start reabsorbing toxins and chemicals into the bloodstream that we normally would just eliminate through our feces and get rid of out of our body. So this leaky gut can become more common. And what are the symptoms of leaky gut, you're probably asking? Well, sometimes people don't get really obvious symptoms. They might have something like eczema or psoriasis or pimples, or something like brain fog or poor memory and concentration. This is a big one in perimenopause and menopause. Or you might feel like you have fatigue and brain fog all the time and a fuzzy head, and you have weight gain and bloating. Or you might have some really obvious digestive symptoms, such as irritable bowel syndrome or IBS. And this can be any sort of symptoms such as constipation or diarrhea or both, erratic sort of bowel movements. You might get bloating. You may have indigestion or nausea. You might get flatulence or gas. And you might feel like you react to most of the foods that you're eating. And sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. And it's all over the place. You may feel like sometimes when you have certain foods, particularly carbohydrate foods, that you get really distended and bloated and uncomfortable, and you just feel like it just doesn't digest properly. And then some people can have SIBO, or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And these symptoms can be very similar to irritable bowel, but a bit more extreme and more common and more, I suppose, an everyday symptom. And it's usually extreme bloating and with constipation and or diarrhea. It's usually one dominant. So SIBO can be dominant with diarrhea or dominant with constipation. And so usually people with IBS or SIBO would at some stage have leaky gut or intestinal permeability. So there's so much we can do about this, and there's so much we can do with our diet and our lifestyle and with natural supplements. Being a naturopath, I recommend changes, holistic changes. So you need to look at a bit of everything and what's influencing your leaky gut and your hormones in the first place. If you'd like to learn more, please jump onto my free masterclass for perimenopausal women and in early menopause. It's called Over 40 and Fabulous, and I'd love to see you there. I will be sharing my best tips and tricks from my 21 years as a naturopath that I've used on myself and with my wonderful clients over the last 21 years. And I'd love you to learn these tips and tricks as well. So please join in, it's free, and I'll pop the link below, and I'd love to see you there. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you around soon. Bye for now.